Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. I'm Greg Olenik here with my co-host Brandon Domingue, and as you can tell, we are feeling the South Beach vibes tonight. Brandon, how you doing, bud?
Oh, I am ready. I got my swim shorts. I got my flippy floppies. It is a great day to be down in South Florida, even though it's a night race. We kind of, why let the facts ruin a good joke?
Yeah, no, that's not going to bother anything. People stay at the beach at nighttime, I'm sure, in Miami. It's a little bit of a different scene, but we're going to be at the racetrack tonight, an awesome 1.5-mile oval here on SRN's Truck Series. Brandon, we had a great race at the Roval last week. We've had a 3-time winner back-to-back-to-back in Ed Shearer. What do you think we're going to see here tonight, bud?
I think we're going to see something we haven't seen all season long, because we're going to have a very tight track, a very difficult track. It's almost going to be a little bit more like Dover, but even a little bit slower in the turns. Our 1.5-mile track that we've been to this season, it was a very different feel. It was a lot more momentum based, and this Homestead track with the current setup that iRacing has, very big challenge compared to what these drivers have had on the oval races thus far.
And you said the word challenge, and that's exactly what it's going to be tonight, just because they changed this track a lot from the time that we ran it last season. People were expecting to have a ton of grip when they went out there today, being that it's nighttime compared to daytime when we ran it in the afternoon last season, and that's not the case. It is multi-grooved, however, so we will see a lot of great racing out there. I expect to see another great race like we saw at Kansas earlier, but it is a lot different out there.
Oh, very different, and I know just in practicing for the Xfinity race tomorrow, and we were talking about it off camera, just the speed difference that we're seeing in the Xfinity side is looking at like maybe a half second or so from the difference that we saw from the pole last season to the pole this season, and it's a half second slower. We ain't picking up any speed out there. The trucks are going to be in a similar position, even though we may see the truck pole time be faster than the Xfinity pole time tomorrow.
Yeah, these trucks are definitely going to be faster. We had a little bit of a heart attack earlier in the week when we realized that we were a little bit slower than last season, but I think that's going to be the case for everybody. So let's go ahead and move on here in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show, get into our race intro here. As you can see, we are in Week 5 action at the Beach Battle 125 here in Homestead-Miami Speedway, and we have 85 laps and one fast repair for these guys, Brandon.
Yep, as I was just getting my sunscreen off my nose there. But 85 laps, one fast repair. If anybody was here to watch the race that we had last season with the Truck Series, that fast repair might come in handy for a lot of drivers. We had a good run to start the race, about 25 laps, green flag. And then once we got past that, there were a lot of cautions when people were starting to push the limits of being able to go 3 wide in these turns. And we saw a giant melee that completely shook up the field with about 10 laps to go. So those fast repairs probably going to be getting in pretty solid use tonight.
Yeah, and I expect these restarts to be pretty crazy tonight as well. People trying to pick up everything they can with such a wide track to do so. Now let's go ahead and move on here into our league intro like we do every week here on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. This is a 20-week fixed setup league. Like we mentioned already, one fast repair, $5 a week per entry fee here for the drivers to get into the race. And they are racing for weekly as well as season payouts, $300 going to that first place champion. And then we got 5-person teams, or up to 5-person teams, I should say, with the team champions coming away with $100.
Yeah, and that team championship, I like the new format this year as we continue to try to shake it out into how everybody's going to be seeded in this new playoff bracket, where it's going to be kind of almost a best-of-3 type deal, where you're going to be scored over the 3 races, and then we're going to whittle the field down from 8 to 4, playing in a heads-up match, basically, and then the next 3 races will set up our championship race for the teams as well as the individuals when we get to Atlanta to close the season.
Super excited to get to Atlanta, but we got plenty of racing to do in between them. Let's go ahead and check out our race payout, see what these drivers are running for tonight here at the South Beach 85. It is going to be $15 going to the first place winner. Second place going to get away with $10. Third through fifth going to get their money back, Brandon.
Yeah, and we say it every week. Always nice to be able to get your money back with a top 5 finish. Of course, you can do more than that, finishing second or first, as they continue to just put this forward to possibly getting that big payout at the end of the season with the $300 for the championship. And we mentioned 3 straight wins for Ed Shearer. He's got $45 in his pocket from the last 3 weeks of races, and that's paying for almost half the season in itself.
Yeah, it starts to add up, especially when you're dominating like Shearer has been in the last 3 weeks. He is setting himself up, though, for this nice season payout that we're going to see here, with the champion coming away with a nice $300. Second place going to walk away with $150. Third place going to get $90, with fourth place coming away with $60, Brandon.
Yeah, and then that 5th place, which we had last season as well, going to get that payout as well with $40. And then new this season, 6th, 7th, and 8th will each get a little bit of money there as well. So there's a little bit more to race for the drivers that do not make the cut for that final 5 once we get to the final race of the season.
Yeah, just another great addition to SRN this year to keep that intensity up week after week, keep the drivers interested, and keep them battling for something even if they don't make the top 5. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show, and that is going to be your Kane Cook sim coaching here. And Brandon, you and I, we mention it every week. We use him. You used him in the off season. I just had a session with him today here at Homestead, and man, he whipped me right into shape. It was a little bit of a rocky start, but he showed me the line that I need to be running and how to run it and how to save these tires, and he has all the faith in me having a good run tomorrow. We'll see how it works out, but you can see it on the screen. He's got 2 accounts, both of which are over 7,000 I rating. That is not easy to do. A professional license, meaning that he is racing in the Coca-Cola Series, racing for $300,000 with the pros.
Yeah, and we were talking about iRating last week when it came to the road courses, and kind of marveling a couple of our drivers that are sitting around 3,500 when it comes to the rating in the Cup Series. For the road course side of things, they do have road course ratings and oval course ratings, but we're marveling at 3,500. This man, Kane, he's got over double of that, which tells you how good he is, and another case of that being to run for that $300,000 in the Coke Series, which is continuing on. So they're getting pretty close to the playoffs as well.
Yeah, and to put it into perspective, we capped this truck series at 2,500 I rating to just get some knowledge from this man who has 3 times the amount of that. Will just pay dividends in the long run and really help you out, way, way, way down the road in your career here on the sim. So if it is something that interests you, check it out there in the red text. Book your session on speedracingnetwork.com. It'll take you to the home page, and just scroll down a little bit. You will see the Kane Cook sim coaching prompt there. Just click a few buttons, set up a time, and you will be on your way. But now let's go ahead and move on to our new segment this year, brought to us by Beer Street Journal, and Sean Griffith has this week's Beer of the Week out of North Carolina.
This week's Beer of the Week comes out of Noda Brewing Company in North Carolina. Every year around this time, we start to see pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice healthy smoothies, and yes, even pumpkin spice macaroni and cheese. But one pumpkin spice product stands out above the rest, Noda's Gorgeous Pumpkin Ale. It has been hitting the shelves during the fall season since 2013. You'll get all the flavors you're expecting. You'll get the brown sugar, the cardamom, the cloves, and yes, even the allspice. What started off as a home brew by head brewer Chad Henderson has turned into a seasonal favorite. This beer has even won 2 gold medals at the Great American Beer Festival, so you know it's awesome. And this isn't just artificial flavoring, they use real pumpkin in the brew. So leave the pumpkin spice lattes at the coffee shop, go get some Noda Gorgeous Pumpkin Ale. The Beer of the Week is sponsored by Beer Street Journal, the leading publication in craft beer reviews. Go to beerstreetjournal.com to find your next great beer. And as always, you must be 21 to enjoy, and please drink responsibly.
Well, thanks as always to Sean Griffith, our producer, for this week's Beer of the Week. And thanks as always to Beer Street Journal for coming on board this season and, giving us this awesome segment. I'm really excited about this one, being a Charlotte boy, and Noda is based here in Charlotte. But I was a little caught off guard, Brandon. I didn't realize we were already in pumpkin season.
I was just thinking the same thing. Like it's getting pretty close. We're seeing Halloween candy already starting to show up in grocery stores, and pumpkin ales already starting to come out of some of the local breweries.
Yeah, well, this one looks gorgeous. I love the art that comes on board with all these beers of the week. You see it there, the pumpkin ale, gorgeous pumpkin ale, brought to us by Noda Brewing Company. You can check them out at nodabrewing.com, and you can also check out Beer Street Journal at beerstreetjournal.com if you're looking to find more amazing beers. But now let's go ahead and move on to the individual standings here. And the man that has just been dominating week after week after week, the only race he hasn't really dominated was Daytona. Ed Shearer sitting at the top.
Yeah, he has done a fantastic job winning the last 3 races, but don't look too far past what we got behind him here. Rounding out the rest of the top 5, also solid all season long to this point. Got Jonathan Byer, who's been ultra consistent, sitting in second. One of his teammates, Landon Cardulo, sitting in third. Cole Martin, the defending series champion, in fourth, with Michael Madden sitting in fifth, and that's somebody that's always a threat to win a race.
And then you got 3 rookies back-to-back there with Lucas Lyons, Blair Holloman, Sean Jensick. The ultimate underdog, as they like to call him, Rob Yost sitting in 9th, and Mike Mosby rounding out our top 10. But we have a lot of drivers that are sitting outside of this cut. And, a lot of big names that we're used to seeing within that cut sitting out here. Michael York down there in 27th. We got Sean Kozier, just missed the playoffs last year, sitting there in 20th place.
Yeah, and a couple other guys I keep my eye on just because of the amount of speed that they can carry. Jacob Zala has been very fast at times, sitting in 23rd place. Evan Scott, another driver that I really think can put things together if he gets some momentum, is in 25th. And I'm surprised sitting in 30th to see Andrew Harris back there out of Bobby Anderson Racing.
And we expect to see him have a really good run here tonight. He's got some speed out there in practice as the boys are out qualifying right now. We'll get to that shortly. But let's get into the team standings here. Rev Racing sitting at the top with that 1 win, just 3 points ahead of JBR. Zuyos Racing going to round out our top 3, followed by Tank Racing, Do-Gooders, Stryker Motorsports, and Bobby Anderson Racing with their first race just last week.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is all to set the table for the playoffs. We're going to have the 1 seed right now getting a bye as it looks. Then the 2nd and 7th will play each other. 3rd and 6th will go racing against each other, and then 4th versus 5th in that opening round.
Absolutely. Now, that's shaping up nicely, but let's go ahead and see how these teams are starting to look with once we get into our team introductions here on the Healthcare Billion Incorporated pre-race show, and we're going to start it off with Rev Racing as they are at the top of the team standings currently, and they have quite a nice team out there. They got the 7 of Lucas Lyons, a rookie. Last year made it to the Final 5. Michael Madden there in the 15. Sean Jensick, our Daytona winner. Sean Kozier in the 97. And Cody Riggs sporting a new sponsor out there this week in the 224.
Yeah, congrats to Cody on a new sponsor, and really just impressed by how well-rounded Rev Racing has been this season. Doesn't really catch you off guard. They're a team that is known for being well-developed and very well-rounded, especially if it comes to longer runs within races, as I'm sure you definitely know that, Craig. But yeah, I really like the speed that we're seeing from a few of these guys. Lucas Lyons, as a rookie, has just come in and done very well. He's gotten a little overshadowed by some of our other rookies out here, especially our points leader. But, I mean, he's putting together a really strong start to the season.
Team's starting to gel together real nicely. They have a nice camaraderie out there, so it really works well for them out there on the track. Let's go ahead now and check out our second team here on the team intros, and that's going to be Jonathan Byer Racing. See it there, consistency, speed. They're only 3 points behind Rev Racing in the team standings currently, so they have quite the nice team out there as well. Kyle Wimble, 13 of Landon Cardolo, having an awesome season. The 35 of Jack Johnson out there. Jonathan Byer also up there in second in points in the 66, and the 75 of James Kerr can get it week after week as well.
Yeah, and this season looks a lot like last season for JBR, where wins were not easy to come across for them, but their consistency was so impressive, and that's why it's part of that little graphic that comes at the start of this thing for them. They are continuously up front, always sitting in the top 10 with multiple trucks. I expect to continue to see that here throughout the rest of the season and in tonight's race.
The more patient teams out there kind of let the race come to them as it forms, but yeah, I expect to see them out there performing tonight. A couple of their trucks also showing good speed. Now let's go ahead and move on to our third team here in the team introductions tonight on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. That's going to be the new team on the block this season, Zoo Yost Racing. Don't feed the animals, and that's going to have their captain Rob Yost in the 98 machine. You see him there fourth in line. His half-brother, I've learned, is the 06 of Blair Holloman. Had a great run last week at the Roval. John Taylor in the 4 machine. Dave Hughes Jr. in the 16, also having a great season this season. Mike Mosby in the 99 has some good speed out there tonight as well.
Yeah, and we always mention Rob Yost being the ultimate underdog, which goes back to last season when it came to the playoffs. This team has kind of taken that role when it comes to the season, and I think everybody looked at this lineup and thought, this could be a good team. But I don't know many people that would have projected them to be sitting third in the point standings at this point in the season. Still early, but they have done a fantastic job gelling together and just really putting together consistent finishes. I expect that to keep going as they continue to get more time together.
Yeah, just knocking on the door of getting that first win, and after that they just come so easily just after you knock that door down, and I expect them to do that here shortly in the season. But yeah, put together quite a team out there. So now moving on to our fourth team here in the introductions brought to us by Healthcare Billing Incorporated. It's going to be Tank Racing. And they have a nice team out there as well. Kind of surprised to see them down here in fourth, just having some rough finishes at the beginning of this season. Jacob Zala showed some really good speed out there at Dover. Josh Mueller has been running up front from time to time. Bruce Amston here in the 63. Walt Lepicki in the 64. And Jeremy Duncan in the 79.
Yeah, and this is a race that I think that 26 of Josh Mueller has probably been waiting for, because he had a solid run going here last season when we ran at Homestead. And I expect big things from him tonight. He's shown plenty of speed here through practice as well. So I would keep an eye on that 26 for Tank Racing.
Not a bad eye at all. We'll see just how they do here tonight. But now let's go ahead and move on to our fifth team in the team introductions. It's the fun team, like they like to call themselves. It's the do-gooders out here, and they're starting to get the momentum going as well. It's going to be the 17 of Danny Setzer out there, the 24 of Taylor Smith, the 88 of Joseph DuPont, the 90 of Corey Knight, with the 93 of Brad Yonkman out there as well.
Yeah, this is a team, we always say that they like to keep things lighthearted, but they've starting to get a little bit more consistent week by week on the track and starting to move forward through the field pretty well. So they're starting to make up some ground when it comes to the points, and I think by the time we get to the playoffs rolling around, they might be a pretty dangerous team that might be able to knock off one of those higher-ranked seeds should they be near the back. They're kind of that sleeper team, I feel like, as we keep going through this season.
Yeah, and the 88 of Joseph DuPont, he is a road course racer at heart. And last week at the Roval, he ran all 3 series and really had good performances in each series. So he is definitely hoping to keep that momentum heading into Miami tonight. But we will see just how well they do once they're out on track. But now, Brandon, this is when I like to turn it over to you. It is your team, Stryker Motorsports.
Yeah, I was a Stryker Truck Series driver last season, Xfinity this season. With our truck team this season, it's the number 1 of Matt Johnson, number 9 Tevin Whitner. The 33 will be Don Milkowitz, 42, currently sitting inside that top 15, but I do not believe he's going to be here tonight, is Kevin Winker. And then the team captain in that 71, Travis Trevelyan.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys have shown really good speed out there. Matt Johnson has good speed week after week, a playoff driver last year. Travis Trevelyan has good speed every week. And Don Milkowicz also having great speed. And Tevin Whitner can get it done as well. We just haven't seen him the last couple of weeks. So hoping he is out there in that 9 machine for Striker Motorsports tonight, but we'll see exactly who grids up in just a couple moments. We got one more team to introduce out here, and it's the new team forming up just last week, Bobby Anderson Racing, and they like to raise the bar. You see there, such a cool slogan, man. This team really came together quickly, and they still have 2 open slots on the team. But, I'm just hearing they might have filled it. That's a producer error. But the 18 of Bobby Anderson going to be the captain for the team. 48 of Evan Scott out there has great speed every week. And 54, Jason Cracky can also get it done too.
Yeah, this is a sneaky team, and they're going to be sitting low in the point standings, A, because they're only 1 race in, B, because they're still forming this team. But I really like the base 3 that we have here. They're continuing to add drivers, but I think that this is a really well-rounded base for them to start with.
Yeah, so we will see. I'm hearing we might have some producer magic happening. There you see it. That is a full team on the books now. Michael Minty going to be in the 55 with Andrew Harris rounding out that fifth spot. Excuse me. So yeah, that looks like a really good team, right?
That's a dangerous team right there. You're seeing a lot of consistency from guys like Bobby Anderson, Evan Scott, Jason Cracky. Seeing a lot of speed as well from Michael Amenti and Andrew Harris. When they keep it straight on the track, they are very dangerous when it comes to putting together good runs.
Well, let's get to the grid here, see what we got for this starting lineup here at the Beach Battle 125. Starting first, it's going to be Landon Lacey with a time of 33.337. 0.02 of a second behind him. Starting second is going to be Cole Martin. Jonathan Byer going to be starting third, with Michael Madden starting fourth.
Yeah, in row 3 on the inside, we'll have Troy Techmeyer in the number 32, still within 1/10 of a second of that pole time from Landon Lacey. On the outside, row 3, Landon Cardulo, one of the super rookies that we've had here at the start of the season. Row 4 will be Josh Mueller in the 26, and Nathan Nixon coming down from the Xfinity Series, making a return appearance here in the trucks in the number 22.
Bobby Anderson out of Bobby Anderson Racing going to be starting 9th. Andrew Harris also out of the same team, going to be starting just outside him in 10th. Jacob Zala for Tank is going to be starting 11th, with Edward Shearer, the back-to-back-to-back winner, going to be starting in 12th place now. Brandon, who are you taking tonight?
You know, it's kind of interesting because this track has changed so much, the setup has changed so much, and we're going from daytime to nighttime from last season, but I'm still going to kind of use last season as a base point. And somebody that I'm still surprised we have not seen in victory lane yet, even though he started last season with back-to-back wins, is in that 15 truck, and that's Michael Madden. I think that's going to be the guy to keep an eye on tonight. Runner-up last season in this race. Think he could put together something similar, maybe park it in victory lane tonight.
Mulling over this decision, I'm going to take the truck just to his inside right there in the 66 machine. I think Jonathan Byer, man, he has been knocking on the door of getting his first ever win here in SRN, and I think it comes tonight. You know, he had one taken away from him at Charlotte when he ran out of fuel. He had it, but now he needs to get it done tonight, and I think he can get it done here in Miami. But just want to go ahead and let you guys know we will be checking in here with our pole sitter when we can get the chance. They're going to be going green here, but maybe under yellow or even some green flag conditions. We will be checking in with Landon Lacey. He is our in-race reporter tonight, so look out for that, as he will have some insight to what this track is doing. But the pace car is about to peel off, and he is going to have the field in his hands. Cole Martin just to his outside. We will see. We are under green flag conditions. Landon gets a nice jump. Cole Martin going to be able to drop down below him.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here as we get started is everybody's going to want to try to get single file as quickly as they can. This is a multi-groove racetrack. Oh, as Landon gets sideways, he's going to save it in front of the entire field, but that's going to give the edge to Cole Martin. He's going to get that momentum on the high side, and Cole Martin going to go out front pretty easily here with Michael Madden right behind him.
That just shows you how scary cold tires can be. Takes a couple laps for these tires to get warm and get some grip in them, but he is going to lose 3 positions, dropping back to 4th. Now Jonathan Byer to his inside. He's going to get the run off of the high side, maybe get past Cardulo there, but that gives the lead to the 51 machine of Cole Martin. Michael Madden in pursuit just behind him. You see Troy Techmeyer here having one of his best starts of the season, starting 5th tonight. The lead is dropping back a little bit now, just under attack. Looks like Nathan Nixon to his inside, making his return to the Truck Series, and we got a battle underway for 7th place.
And I thought they were going to try to get single file pretty quick with these cold tires and try to stay out of any danger of possibly spinning out while they're still getting that grip. And we got a little bit of contact right behind him. I believe it was Bobby Anderson in the 18 in that white and blue truck making a little contact. That did not catch who that was on the inside. But as we move back up front, they are going single file there, but that might change here pretty soon as Michael Madden's starting to take a peek on the inside of Cole Martin. And now that the tires are warming up, we may see people start really trying to test this multi-groove track.
Here on the backstretch, the 48 of Evan Scott, the 17 of Danny Setzer, we are still green. Surprised that the caution didn't come out, but that is the case here sometimes on iRacing. If you're down on the apron and out of the racing lane, it will not pick it up, and we stay green here in Miami. Landon Lacey to the inside of his Rev Racing teammate, Michael Madden. We got a heck of a battle underway. You see all the smoke from that spin. We got a lead. We got a battle for the lead here. Michael Madden going to take a look to the inside. Landon thinking about going high.
Oh, very close, getting into 3 and 4. Michael Madden on the inside. He's going to push up just a little bit. Think he backed off, knowing that contact was coming, and he's going to choose to think better of that and sacrifice that second position, falling back to third, possibly fourth, as Jonathan Byer getting the momentum on the inside.
Yeah, this just really shows the multi-groove racing that we're going to see here tonight. We got 3 different trucks in 3 different lanes. Michael's going to get a good run and side draft the 66 out of the turn. He might be able to clear the 66 heading into the turn 3 here, but he's going to have his work cut out for him to try and pick up that spot from his Rev Racing teammate Landon Lacey and get back up there to battle Cole. Look like he's battling really tight conditions in turns 3 and 4 as he's not able to carry the same amount of speed as our leaders are.
Yeah, and this track, I think everybody will notice here as this plays out, 1 and 2 respond very differently than 3 and 4. Even though the track looks symmetrical, they really do want to react differently. You got to take different entry angles going into those turns, and different points where you pick up the throttle as well. So it's very tricky getting to a consistent point around both sets of turns. And sometimes you're going to be stronger on one end than the other.
Well, not to confuse anybody, but that is our 3-time winner this season, just behind Michael Madden. He is in the 94 machine now here in SRN. A bit of a different look on that truck, so he is kind of hiding incognito back there for a minute. Wasn't sure who that was, but he is showing some really good speed so far after starting what I believe was 12th, already up to 4th. So picking up 8 spots within the first 7 laps. This man is coming up to the front where he is used to being.
Man, what a run for Shearer already, gaining those 8 spots. But the man that's out in front, Cole Martin, continuing to hold off Landon Lacey. They're a good half second behind the rest of the field, or in front of the rest of the field, including this little fight there that's going for 5th. Meanwhile, we got to look for the lead as Landon Lacey going to take a peek on the outside.
That peak didn't really work out for him. Didn't get the run that he wanted going into turn 1. Going to get some speed here. Try to draft behind the 51 to get back to his bumper heading into turn 3. We'll see what line he takes this time, but Cole is going to stay on that bottom side where it is known to save your tires a little bit and help that truck rotate a little more as they both go to the bottom that time. Cole, or Landon, is going to go to the high side, try to side draft him going down the backstretch here. We're going to have a drag race heading into turn 1.
Side by side, and they're going to filter back out single file, but you do notice Ed Shearer, the first one in line, as well as Landon Cardulo, they're going to start running that high line. And those seams on the track that you can see in the turns, they kind of divide where different bankings are around this Homestead track, so they do increase as you go. But that inside, it doesn't feel as drastic. Like at Kansas a couple weeks ago, we were seeing the same thing where you had that progressive banking, but the high side was really paying off for a lot of drivers, and we saw some take full advantage of that. Here, it's not as noticeable. It's not as big of a difference on that high side, I think just because of the surface and the way that the setup is in these trucks, where the inside line can defend pretty well, if not be the faster way around.
Yeah, and that's also going to help you save tires in the long run, too. You definitely wear out that right front more when you're running that high side. Yes, it may be faster here for a little bit of the run, but you are going to want to be down on that white line, maybe down in the middle of the track as well, as we got Michael York hitting the inside wall on the backstretch here. Heavy damage to the left side of that truck, but Landon Lacey and Cole Martin are having at it here heading into turn 1. And just like we saw at Kansas, That 94 truck is using all the track in the turns. He did the same thing at Kansas. He just used that high line more than anybody else did, and that speed really translated into a great run, ultimately getting him that win.
And he's trying to close in on the lead here once again for possibly getting a 4th straight win, but it's side-by-side racing continuing for a full lap between Landon Lacey on the outside in the white truck, Cole Martin in the red truck on the inside, and I really think that Lacey is stronger in 3 and 4. Martin had tried to keep it a little bit too tight on the inside and scrubbed off some of the speed last time by coming out of turn 2. We'll see how it plays out this time as Jonathan Byer starting to make a push into this lead battle as well.
Update out of Zuyos Racing. We've lost Rob Yost out there on the track. He has disconnected due to connection error out there. I think he's having some issues with weather in his part of the country. So unfortunately for him, his day is going to be done. But yeah, that is not to take away from the battle we are seeing out here. You see that 94 stretching all the way up to the wall, using everything he can to get a good run off the backstretch, but nothing he can really do with it as long as these two are battling side by side. They've singled out now Cole Martin guarding that bottom line. But yeah, we're going to see Ed Shearer making a move here on the 53 machine, and Landon Lacey right here as he just really sends it in there deep in turn 3 and is going to really try and keep it up as high as he can on the exit of 4, gaining a lot more speed than these leaders.
And this is about the point in the run on these tires where I'm going to start to wonder who has what for the second half of this run. Because you're going to start seeing this tire wear that is pretty heavy around this Homestead 1.5 mile oval. And I think if you're pushing it too hard and you're trying to get too much pace early in the run, maybe thinking that we're going to see some cautions here, and we still have not just yet, I think that's going to be something that can come into play where you're going to see some of these guys start falling back if they pushed a little too hard early.
I think you're exactly right. We will start seeing that tire wear come into play around lap 20 is what I'm thinking. We'll really start to see who is saving their stuff the best as we see Landon Lacey move up to the high side of the track, trying to gain some ground that he lost on that 51 machine. He's going to get a big run off of 2. 51 moving down to kind of kill the draft a little bit, so he's not able to suck up too much behind him. But that did help Landon gain back a little bit. He's going to go down to the bottom here in 3 and 4 and try to get that truck to rotate on the bottom and get a little bit of a better run as you see the 51 push up a little bit on the exit of 4. Landon's going to also get a good run down the front stretch here, and he's going to be back to his bumper heading into 1.
I really like that move by Landon to, you know what, that inside line wasn't getting the job done. Cole Martin was starting to pull away a little bit. He also had about a half second behind him to Ed Shearer, so might as well try a different move there by going on the outside. Speaking of moving, Lucas Lyons has started in the 24th position. He's already up to 15th, so +9 for the rookie out of Rev'd Racing in that 7 truck already through just 15 completed laps.
The 94 right now for the biggest mover of the race so far, both moving up 9 positions. But now Landon Lacey has the look on the inside heading into turn 1 a little bit different. We've seen the 51 guarding that bottom. The 53 is going to come away with the lead this time, I believe, if he can slide up in front of the 51. And you see it right there. He has it. New leader, Landon Lacey.
And he's been better on this side of the track. Cole's going to get that run with that little bit of a draft and the momentum from the outside, and he's going to try to make that work on the inside. But this is going to be tight here as Landon has been faster than Cole through 3 and 4, and that looks like it's going to hold here as he's got a little bit of momentum. They're still going to be side by side going back to turn 1.
Cole with the inside advantage this time, like we saw Landon have last time, when Cole's going to run the middle lane, try and get some speed. Landon's going to have the run off of 2, though. He is going to keep the lead, and we'll probably see Cole Martin slide up behind him. He's going to try and side draft him a little bit, not able to do so, and we'll see which lanes they both decide to take this time. This is a heck of a battle for the lead, but now you got a battle for 3rd as well, as Jonathan Byer is starting to try to make a move on Ed Shearer, our points leader here in the Truck Series. See if the 66 can slide up in front of the 94, not able to do so. They're going to be side by side heading into turn 1 this time.
And it's 1st and 2nd in the point standings, racing side by side for 3rd and 4th on the racetrack, as Landon Lacey starting to come up on Danny Setzer, and we'll put him 1 lap down. We saw Setzer have the issues there early on. I believe it was lap 2 or 3. We had a couple trucks spinning to the inside wall on the back straightaway, so he's going to be the first one on track to be put 1 lap down. as Landon Lacey going to make pretty quick work there on that inside line and slide back up top, and that might actually help him as Cole Martin kind of caught Setzer at an awkward point there on the exit of the turn.
Able to get everything that he wanted on the exit of that turn, and that's going to give Landon a couple more gaps in between him and Cole Martin. Now, as we see, it's about a 3-truck length difference here between the 53 and 51. Excuse me, that caught me off guard, seeing the 66 trying to get by Setzer back there. A little bit of a heart-stopping moment for Jonathan Byer, but able to get by Setzer cleanly, and now we're going to see Ed Shearer make the move on the inside as well. It's never easy getting by lap traffic out here.
No, and meanwhile, I was looking back in the pack a little distracted on the wide shot that I have set up, seeing 3 wide racing in maybe an inch of space between all 3 trucks back around the 14th position, but they made it work coming out of turn 2, and we stay green as we watch Blair Holloman sitting in 15th. He was one of the 3 that was in that tight racing. Troy Techmeyer as well in that 32 truck on the outside. That's the race for 14th. And it has been tight, and I think that little left side scrapage on that black number 32 truck, I think that did come from that tight 3-wide battle that they had 1 lap ago.
It's a lot of damage for, coming from another truck out there, so I'm assuming that somebody else has a lot of damage as well, as we see Dave Hughes Jr. making a move on Jacob Zala out there, a rookie here in SRN this season, having a great run to start his career here, but we see that right side damage there. Maybe that might be the other truck that got into it with the 32. Those sides do match up, so maybe this is where we saw that damage. Heavy damage there on the right side, so man, they really made some heavy contact with one another.
Yeah, and that is highly possible if that's it, because it does match up pretty well. But as we watch that 25 of Jacob Zala, he kind of reminds me of a teammate of his in another series right now with the amount of speed that he has. He kind of reminds me of Vincent Cortez from last season. Very fast driver that just sometimes had some bad luck happen, but can get the job done and just really make some passes. I'm really impressed with Zala early on this season.
Him as well, and I expect to start seeing those finishes come his way once he's able to get a full race put together. Just like I said, having some bad luck, which we all go through as racers, but one with not any bad luck to start so far is this 94 machine of Ed Shearer. He's battling a tough truck in his own right, the 15 of Michael Madden. Your pick out there tonight, Brandon. This battle's for 4th.
Yeah, and I'm starting to wonder if Shearer, with those big position gains that he was making early on, if maybe he was using up the tires just a little too much, because you can see him starting to fall back off the pace just a little bit compared to the lead. He's lost about a second over the past, I'd say 5 laps or so. And this is that point that we were talking about in this tire run, where you're really going to see the effects of if you pushed him a little too hard early.
Yeah, that's how you learn. You've got to push it hard first in the run, early on in the race. And that's going to go into his memory bank and, help him in the long run towards the end of this race. You see it right there, the difference in lap times, all in the red for Shearer. So he's losing time to Landon Lacey, our leader, every lap out there, but able to hold off the 15 of Michael Madden so far, as we still see him running that high side, trying to catch back up to the 66.
Yeah, and by no means am I thinking that he used the tires to the point where he's just going to start plummeting through the field or anything like that, but it is going to be that slight difference, and a tenth of a second a lap will add up pretty quickly as we get near the end of this run, and it might also affect a little bit of that confidence in the car, or in the truck, as you start kind of losing that grip just a little bit more and more. You start seeing the leader start pulling away, kind of makes you think about what you're doing a little bit more, maybe get into your head a little.
Let's get into somebody else's head out there on the track. Let's go ahead and bring Landon Lacey up to the booth. Our in-race reporter, Landon Lacey. While he's leading this race, we're going to try and get some insight from how he's doing out there. Landon, how's the truck?
Tires have worn off a little bit. It's a little bit tight. I'd planned on running the bottom all the way around the racetrack, but the way it's handling right now, it's just not possible. Running up high in 1 and 2 and still kind of running the bottom in 3 and 4.
Well, one thing I'm wondering is, if using this race for getting a little bit of knowledge for tomorrow night, what are you picking up that might apply for tomorrow?
I mean, I don't believe that, the Xfinity car is actually a little bit slower than the truck. So, I'll pick up a little bit online on what I want to run on older tires. But other than that, it's all going to have to be figured out a different way.
Brandon trying to get some insight for himself out there. I see what he's doing out here.
Try.
All right, Landon. Well, you're doing a great job out there, bud. Got a 1 second lead back to Cole Martin. We'll be checking in again as the race goes on. Best of luck, buddy.
Sir, thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Something new here on SRN. An in-race reporter under green flag conditions, running part-time here in the Truck Series as he runs full-time for Rev Racing in the Xfinity Series. Like Brandon said, just out here getting some pointers for tomorrow and doing a great job in doing so. But right now, a nice little battle for 7th place between Dave Fuge Jr., Josh Mueller, and Landon Cardullo. These guys are going at it for 7th.
Yeah, we've seen the top 5 really start to spread out a pretty decent bit, but we're seeing some great racing in these mid-pack battles, as this one for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Meanwhile, we look back farther. We got 4 trucks running for the 16th position, as we got the spotlight there on Kyle Wimble running in 17th in that JBR number 3 Toyota. And they're starting to spread out a little bit now after some good racing there, though, where they were 3 wide for a little bit.
Let's go ahead and check back in with Lucas Lyons. He's made his way back to, he's in the top 10 after starting 24th. This man's already moved up 14 spots and looking really good out there, showing some great speed compared to the rest of the leaders. We should be seeing him suck up to this battle for 7th as he's got Cardullo, Fuge, and Mueller just in front of him.
Yeah, he is the second biggest mover thus far, gaining those 14 positions up to 10th. Biggest mover, we actually just had him highlighted a moment ago, and that's Kyle Wimble. He's gone from 35th all the way up to 17th, picking up 18 spots.
Just picked up another one. Lucas moving up to 9th as we see Dave Fuge Jr. out of Zeus Racing coming down pit road. We'll see if that brings down the rest of the field, as he is going to have fresh tires on that truck and be a lot faster than everybody else. We'll see how this cycles out. I'm sure our in-race reporter that we just talked to, Landon Lacey, taking note of that. We'll see how long it takes him to go down pit road as he's coming out of 4 to take lap 32 here.
Yeah, it should not be too much longer. I think they've only got about a handful of laps or so till this window closes, as Mike Mosby in the 99, Blair Holloman in the 06, Zuyo's teammates going to make their way into pit road as well, both giving up positions in the top 15.
That gap between Landon Lacey, only a second and a half, but the gap between Martin and Byer, that is non-existent as these two are battling going into third. Jonathan Byer taking a look to the inside of last season's champion here in the Truck Series, and he gets by him with ease. Jonathan Byer up to set. Cole Martin going to come down pit road this time. We're just going to see just how sketchy of a pit entrance this is. You can get really loose real easily. He makes it look very easy, and we're under yellow. That's going to be huge for the 51.
Oh my goodness, he got perfectly timed on that one, as we see Walt Lepicki bringing out the caution, as it looks like he either spun it going, well, he's going to spin it there again. Looks like he spun it coming out of pit road, as that's the access road on the track that we're looking at, as the 64 trying to get that straightened back up. And it took a while, but this is our first Beer Street Journal rec replay of the night.
Good 33-lap run for the guys out there tonight here at Miami. And we're going to see just what happens here. I think he might clip the grass a little bit. Nope, he just over-rotated those rear tires and came to a stop and went in reverse. Not sure what we are seeing. Oh, he went the wrong lane. Yeah, he went down the road.
Yeah, and with Homestead, there's the access road, and there's also part of the road course that is still mapped out here on iRacing. And I think on that, I think he saw the road course portion and went down that instead of taking the access road. And I think that's what happened there. A little surprised that the caution came out until he started backing it up on the track, but the caution already came out at that point.
Nonetheless, we are under yellow, and like we said, that's going to be huge for Cole Martin. He is going to come out to be our leader more than likely, but right now our leader is coming down pit road. Landon Lacey going to lead them to their stalls. Byer, Shearer, Madden, Mueller rounding out our top 5.
Yeah, but the man that's going to win out on this pit stop is going to be Cole Martin, who doesn't have to come down with everybody else, because he beat that caution getting into pit road by about a second ahead of it. So that's going to be huge for him. Meanwhile, Landon Lacey leading them down pit road for the rest of the group that has not pitted just yet, and he should be the first one off, as he had a pretty clean entry.
Yeah, we'll see exactly how they come off, see if anybody's able to pick up any spots Coming off pit road here under yellow, our first caution of the night. Great start to this race. Really good battles out there tonight, Brandon. Do you think we'll see a lot of the same within these last 50 laps?
Well, this has the feel of what we saw last season, where we had that long green flag run to start the race. It was about 25, 26 laps last season. Tonight we go 35. After that, we saw about, I think it was 3 cautions over the next 20 laps, where people started to get a little bit more aggressive, knowing that there's still 1 pit stop left in the race from this point, but they got a little bit more aggressive knowing that time was starting to run out. I think we're going to see something similar. I don't think it's going to be as many cautions as we saw last year, but I think we're going to see them start piling up as these restarts get a little crazy here at Homestead.
Yeah, we got a lot of trucks feeling fast out there today, so they're going to be battling really hard as this race unfolds. You know, we've had a bunch of different winners throughout SRN this season, but, you know, that's not been the case here in the trucks, as it's been pure domination by that 94 truck. So these guys are really hoping to knock him off and somebody else get on the podium and, you know, get to celebrate in victory lane tonight. But right now, Ed Shearer is sitting in a good position to potentially make it 4 in a row.
And he has been moving through the field. He is I think he's the 4th biggest mover to this point, but going from 12th to 4th, he's the only driver in the top 5 that started outside of the top 10 here in this race, just to show how good he's been at picking off trucks. Definitely was faster early in the run, lost a little bit of that pace late in the run, but I think if this thing starts turning out into a bunch of different shootouts here, maybe 5-8 lap runs between cautions, that's going to be the guy to keep your eye on.
Yeah, using that high line to his fullest advantage. Let's go ahead and give you a rundown, as we are still under caution here, of our top 10. It's going to be Cole Martin out in front after that timely pit stop where he was on pit lane just before that yellow came out. Landon Lacey going to be second. He was our leader before this round of pit stops. Jonathan Byer also making some really good moves out there, running third. Ed Shearer running fourth, with Josh Mueller running fifth.
And then in 6th place, we're going to have Landon Cardulo, another one of those JBR trucks. Lucas Lyons has moved up from 24th all the way up to the 7th position. Jacob Zala, another one of our fast rookies, going to be in the 8th spot. Sean Jensick, our Daytona winner, in 9th. And then it's Bruce Amston rounding out the top 10. And just outside of the top 10, do want to give a nod, Kyle Wimble, up 24 spots from 35th all the way up to 11th.
Boy, he is passing some trucks today, making it look easy in that beautiful Fiverr machine. A new sponsor on board that 3 truck this year, so want to welcome them to the Speed Racing Network. He's making it look good out there tonight, just outside the top 10. But yeah, a lot of new names to the top 10, and we love seeing that. You know, we want to see some great competition here this season, and that's exactly what we're seeing tonight.
And it's a big reason why the Truck Series with SRN is as popular as it is. I know everybody in the other series is as well. Love watching these truck races because there's so much young talent making their way through and just really putting together some great races. And I think that the package of these trucks just bodes for great racing as well, as we're back under green.
So heading into turn 1, Cole Martin gets a good restart, jumps in front of the 53. Ed Shearer getting a great restart. He's looking to make a move on Landon Lacey here, not able to do so. Excuse me, I thought I heard the caution flag on my iRacing sim, but that wasn't the case. That's why I took a little bit of pause there. But yeah, our top 3 is Cole Martin, Landon Lacey, and Ed Shearer now.
3 fast trucks out in front, and want to see if Jonathan Byer makes his way back into that mix as well, as he was really one of those 4 fast ones on that first run. I think that's going to be something we'll see as these tires start to warm up a little bit. Took his truck about 5 laps to get up to speed last time by. We're seeing this top 2 start moving away as Landon Cardulo just scrapes the wall coming out of turn 2. Doesn't look like any damage should have been obtained by that one, as it was pretty light against that second turn exit wall.
The only damage will be killing his momentum heading down the backstretch, but he's going to regain that momentum exiting 4. He's going to probably be able to beat Jonathan Byer off the turn there. But right now, we got a drag race heading into turn 1. This is exactly what we saw the last run, a battle between the 53. Now we got a yellow out on the track, Troy Techmeyer, and I'm not sure who that green truck was involved. Michael Amenti possibly also involved. Troy taking a tow here as he had heavy damage on that 32 machine. We're going to go ahead and check out another Beer Street Journal wreck replay here on lap 40.
And our second caution of the night coming just about 2 laps after we got back under the green. So we watch Troy Techmeyer. You see him in the mid-pack, and it looks like Andrew Harris just comes off the wall, off the outside line, and gets into the 32 of Troy Techmeyer. And once that contact's made, they both just go shooting straight down to the inside wall. Heavy damage for both of them to the front of the truck. If they don't have a fast repair left, that might end the night for each of them. I think they should have one left, as we see that damage already there with the 32. But this contact very heavy, as they both had to take a tow to get to pit road.
It could have been a bit of netcode if we could take a look from above there. I don't believe that Air Harris might have gotten into the wall. I think that might have been netcode that brought his truck down. Yeah, it was a little bit of a netcode there, it looks like.
That's always a tough pill to swallow when you get that little bit of netcode, and that was a pretty significant one, honestly. He was probably a good 6 inches away from the wall. But either way, the server assumes that contact is coming, and it responds appropriately. And that one, it kind of got a little ahead of itself, but it did create our second caution of the night, unfortunately.
Involving 2 trucks out there. Troy Techmeyer had a great qualifying position out there tonight, but unfortunately fell back in the pack and getting himself into a little bit of trouble. Hopefully those guys are able to get those trucks fixed and get back out there to earn maybe some more points for their teams. We'll see if it does work out for them, but right now, that was a heck of a battle for the lead right before that caution came out between Landon Lacey and Cole Martin. Landon Lacey getting the spot in the scoring pylon as it was a drag race the whole way through the track.
Yeah, fantastic racing, and that's what we've really come to expect tonight from our lead racing here, as Lacey and Martin have both been just extremely fast, and it kind of caught me a little bit off guard. I thought the 51 was going to get the edge there coming out of the turn, and it might have just been where they were at the right when the caution came out, because he did have that little bit of push from Ed Shearer, who was going with him on the inside. And the draft isn't huge around here, but it is noticeable enough. I thought that was going to give him the edge there before the caution came out.
Well, nonetheless, he is the leader. Landon Lacey out there rocking a new sponsor, Mid-South Coating, making it look good in that 53 machine. So he's doing his part out there on the track, having a great run tonight in the truck series, doing it with the best. Cole Martin and Ed Shearer, Landon Cardulo, and Jonathan Byer just behind him. All 4 of those trucks have been dominant in the trucks so far this season.
Yeah, they have been fantastic. As Landon Lacey, just thinking about Sunday, he got into the booth with us a couple weeks ago, wanting to join our coverage with the pit reporter side, doing the in-race reporting tonight. He got in the podium on Sunday. Here he is again, leading the way. He's getting a little addicted to being in the booth with us here, isn't he?
Yeah, he keeps trying to come back, man. I don't know what it is, but we love Evan Landon out there. He's doing great so far. We'll see just how he does as the race unfolds, but yeah, he has his work cut out for him. As I said, man, these guys have been battling hard each race, these 4 trucks behind him. So, Shearer is in a battle for the lead in points with Jonathan Byer just behind him. Landon Cardulo also up there. So, anything can happen here, and we could have a 4-time winner back to back to back to back, or we could have a new winner tonight. Brandon, what are you thinking?
Oh, I have no idea at this point, because we're seeing 4 very fast trucks out there. So we're 1 lap to green. They're going to get double file here. 4 fast trucks all sitting in the top 5. A 5th really starting to make their move with Lucas Lyons up to 7th. I wouldn't count out a guy like Kyle Wimble, who's been moving through the field as well. This is still wide open as we get just past halfway through this 85-lap race here in Homestead. There's a whole lot of drivers that can still find their way in victory lane, as we've seen a lot of passing here tonight.
I'm not counting anybody in this top 10 out of contention of winning this race, and I'll even make that the 11. Like you said, Kyle Wimble just picking up so many spots tonight, passing these trucks. And, you know, I expect to see him do it some more as we still have half this race left. They got Jacob Zala back there in 6th, who's looking to put a great race together to help him get inside that cut. And, you know, a few other trucks that we're used to seeing up here as well. Josh Mueller having another great run tonight. Jensic looking to get a rebound after he missed last week and maybe get into a few trouble spots at Kansas as well. So a lot of stories unfolding here as this race goes on. Pace car about to drop down pit road, and Landon Lacey will have the green flag coming out on the flag stand. It is green again. We will see how crazy this restart gets here tonight.
A little bit more advantage if you want to be somewhat more aggressive this time by. So tires are going to have that little bit of a heat cycle. They're going to be a little bit warmed up and worn. So you'll have a little more grip this time through 1 and 2 as we see everybody just fire off through 1 and 2 very quickly and down the backstretch into turn number 3. It's still going to be Landon Lacey out front, but we're seeing some aggressive pacing from a lot of the drivers out there on this first lap this time around.
Is 3 wide further back in the pack. It is absolute chaos as these guys are trying to pick up all the positions that they can. We see Taylor Smith on the inside of Dave Fuge making a look here to the inside of Cody Riggs. Sean Kozier all under attack here. We have a gaggle of trucks. Matthew Johnson, Mike Mosby, Blair Holloman also in the mix here.
I love seeing this 2 wide racing where everybody just being aggressive but also giving each other that space. As we're going to see 3 wide here. Bruce Amston on the outside. It's going to be the 88 of Joseph DuPont that was looking through the middle. And then just behind them is going to be James Kerr, who I think thought better of that one and backed out of that position before they got 3 wide through 3 and 4.
To sort themselves about back here in the top 15, you know, but right now Ed Shearer is just trying to get by Cole Martin here in the 51 machine, trying to get a stab at Landon Lacey potentially to make a move for the lead. But Ed Shearer really has nowhere to go. Going to try and take a peek to the inside here. Cole Martin running just above that line. Not going to really give him much space to do so. And these trucks are going to be tightening up here as they come back to the stripe. Landon Lacey still out in front. Jonathan Byer starting to lose some ground on this top 3. But we saw that last time. Jonathan Byer kind of holding back a little bit, saving that truck a little more. And it really paid dividends for him in the long run.
Yeah, he is one of the best in the truck series when it comes to saving those tires and putting them to good use. Once a run goes a little bit longer than you might anticipate, as we see side by side here, Ed Shearer in the 94 on the inside, Cole Martin on the 51 on the outside. Both of those Silverados pushing hard out of turn number 4, still side by side as they cross the line as we hit lap number 49.
Shearer going to take a dive here on the inside, going to get out a little bit to get back into the gas a little bit quicker than Cole Martin. He's going to get a really good run off of 2. Not going to have the room. Oh, he is going to have the room to clear up in front of Cole Martin. He has that second position. But, hey, Kyle Wimble back there in 10th in that 3 machine. He's up in the top 10. Now moving up to 9th, maybe making a move for 8th here. This guy is on a mission, and that's going to put 3 JBR trucks in the top 10. A really good night for them in the team point standings, running second. But, hey, they are going to have their work cut out for them with 3 Rev trucks also sitting in the top 10. So we got quite a team points battle underway.
Great racing, and I just like seeing the confidence there with the 3. For a while, it looked like he was going to try to thread the needle and go through the middle 3 wide through 3 and 4 a lap ago. Didn't quite get the momentum to do it, but it looked like something he was definitely considering, and that's when you know you feel good in that truck, when you're making a bunch of passes and you start thinking, you know what, I can make that work, threading the needle 3 wide.
Yeah, doing a great job making that 3 truck work out there, picking up spots like it's nothing right now. But right now, Joseph DuPont having a good run also. He has moved up 19 positions, up from 30th. We just saw him not too long ago in that 88 machine, running 11th now, just outside the top 10. Michael Madden making a move on Landon Cardulo here with Jonathan Byer just in front of him. It gets really tight coming out of this turn. They're going to make it work. Jonathan Byer going to slide up in front of the 13. Michael Madden gets a little bit tight off of 4. Going to lose the run out of that turn. Going to have to try and work to get that position to the 13 back. But right now, Cole Martin starting to seem like he's falling off a little bit here.
Yeah, not sure if he's just not finding the line with this new set of tires, or if maybe he incurred a little bit of damage somewhere. Doesn't look like it. but definitely seems off the pace from what we had on the original run that went about that good 30 laps or so. But he's definitely not on that same kind of speed as we see Beyer starting to pull up to the back bumper of that 51. So a little bit of a surprise there to see one of our faster trucks in that first run starting to sit back a little bit, though it is also possible, and maybe he's just conserving, thinking that we're going to see another one of those long runs coming.
Yeah, could have just realized how hard he might have been pushing that truck and just kind of taking it a little bit easy here, but kind of trying to hold on to this position as well. You know, he's got 3 trucks behind him trying to get by him, but right now he's holding them off, doing a great job holding on to that 3rd place position. Right now, Michael Madden trying to get by that 15 machine of Cardulo. We love taking a look at this 51, man. It looks so pretty out there with Sandwich Man Racing Sports memorabilia on the hood and on the side. You got the big sandwich on the deck lid as well. And I believe his code for that is Cole10. You get 10% off any order on their website, so go ahead, check him out. If he gets in the booth, he will let you know for sure. Or Cole51, excuse me, there it is on the back. Use promo code Cole51. Get yourself a little bit discount on SandwichManRacing.com. A great sponsor. They were a league sponsor last year, hopping on board with that 51 again here this season. And he is doing them right with a good run here tonight, trying to get that first win on the season, something we're not accustomed to saying for Cole Martin.
Yeah, once we got to about the second half of the season last year, he was winning almost every single race. Unbelievable pace that he had. Once he started getting that confidence going, it took him a couple races last season, but then he just became the toughest guy on the track to beat. As looking a little bit behind him, you see Michael Madden sitting in 6th. He was the one that had the hot start last season, winning both of the first 2 races to start the season. So he had a similar run to Ed Shearer that we've seen here this season in the trucks.
Well, look behind Michael Madden. You see it is Kyle Wimble up to 7th now. He is moving to the front. We could be a contender to win this thing up 28 spots in that 3 truck. He is going to be working to pick up another spot if he can catch that 15 of Michael Madden, but he just got by Lucas Lyons not too long ago, putting Lyons back to 8th. So great run, like we keep mentioning here for Kyle Wimble. That is 3 trucks in the top 7, 4th, 5th, and 7th. Great run by JBR tonight.
And for Wimble, he comes into this race just outside of the top 15, so he's definitely just going for it. And this is finally the time where it seems like he's getting everything going for him. It seems like he's just had some issues that just kind of spring up around him in these early races. And we saw him be up near the front at the end at Daytona before having the big wreck happen there. But it seems like he's starting to get that momentum going. And JBR in general really getting that momentum going here tonight.
Yeah, and I think I saw him mention in a chat in one of our races, I think the Roble last week, Kyle Wimble's battling a torn hamstring. That is not easy to race with, making it look easy out there tonight. So, man, good for you, Kyle, and I hope you get that fixed here soon, man. I know that has got to be painful getting out there on the track, but right now, good battle here between Jensic, Mueller, and DuPont here for 9th place. We're going to see if they can sort it out. Mueller going to take a look to the inside of Sean Jensic heading into turn 1. That's going to help DuPont get a run and maybe get his nose here in the mix. Lucas Lyons starting to fall off a little bit, fall back to this group.
And still seeing some great racing here around that 10th position, side by side with Zala and Jensic, who's going to be just ahead as Mueller, is going to be sliding in between the 29 of Jensic and the 88 of DuPont, so they're going to get back single file. But this has been, we've seen a lot of the best racing here around this 10th position. 10th to 15th has been really where we've seen a lot of good side by side and possibly 3-wide racing at times.
Brandon, my question is, they're going to have to pit again, I do believe. So when do you come down? Do you undercut this thing, try to make up some significant time on our leaders and leave them with not enough time to catch up? Or do you wait and see if another caution comes out, and that could really put you behind the 8 ball?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really watching everything right now, and for the most part, as we watch a side-by-side race, for the most part, everybody is kind of getting stretched out single file by a pretty good gap. So the odds of a caution coming out are a lot lower at this point. I would almost say you want to just run it as long as you can at this point. But if we start seeing everything tighten back up, we start seeing a lot of side-by-side, three-wide racing really start picking up. Maybe you think about the undercut because the chances of that caution build up. But I think if you're one of the leaders, especially if you're in that top 5, I think you got to stay out there and just run it as long as you can. Maybe if you're sitting back in that 15th position, farther back than that, maybe you take the shot.
Well, Landon Lacey better not look in his mirror as Shearer is closing the gap to that 53 machine, just sitting 3.5 tenths back of Landon Lacey and just ever so slightly picking up each lap on our leader. We're going to have a battle for first here within the next couple of laps. Shearer wanting to go to victory lane again. He's not gotten tired of it yet on the season. That would be 4 out of the 5 races, with the only one not being Daytona, as it's just a crapshoot at Daytona. But, man, he has really put on a clinic. We've still got this battle back here for 9th place. Actually, this is for 8th. They're trying to get by Lucas Lyons here. Josh Mueller going to send it into turn 1 here. Lucas going to get a good run off of 2. They're going to be side by side. Nope, Josh Mueller is going to be able to slide up in front of him with Lyons doing the undercut below him. Now he's going to have the low line heading into 3. Quite a battle back here for 8th place.
And very patient move there from Josh Mueller as well. It looked like he started to think about throwing that block as Lyons went for the crossover to the inside and then thought better of it. Still over 20 laps to go. Plenty of time left in this race, as well as having that one pit stop left for everybody.
Well, they get real tight heading into this turn. Good job staying off of each other. Joseph DuPont just ever so patient, sitting back there, waiting for these two to sort it out. But, yeah, these guys are doing a great job. Joseph DuPont moving up to 10th. As I said, we're going to have a battle here for the lead, as we just saw Shearer chipping away at Landon Lacey. He is there knocking on the door, just a truck length separating them. And Shearer seems to have the better speed right now.
And as they race, don't look too much farther back, because there's the 51 starting to looks like he was using a conservative strategy with what we were talking about earlier and why he might have been falling back just that little bit. I'm thinking it was conservation of those tires. We see Shearer get past the 53 for the lead, and that was done very quickly. So Shearer doing a great job with these tires as well. He's showing some tremendous pace, as now Landon Lacey going to be the first one to make the pit stop, and he's going to do it from 2nd position.
8 points contender. I had a feeling we had to see someone undercut, as we see his teammate Sean Jensick also coming down pit road. I believe it was Jensick. It's either Jensick or Madden just behind him. Michael Madden, excuse me. So, yeah, his other teammate. But, yeah, I'm not surprised to see Landon Lacey coming down pit road a little early. Like I mentioned, he is out here for fun, picking up notes for the Xfinity Series race tomorrow, where he races full-time. So why not get a little bit risky here? We'll see how long it takes for the 94 to come down. He's going to come down this time. Cole Martin also going to come down. Jonathan Byer going to stay out and assume the lead. Whoa, Cole Martin hits those. Yeah, he hits the barrels there on the entrance into pit road. Going to have to use that fast repair to get that truck fixed. Significant damage for the 51 there.
And it looked like he was just trying to make sure he gave space to Shearer, and in doing that just kind of drifted a little bit too far to the right, just gave him a little too much room. I didn't see him lock it up or anything like that, so I think he was just trying to be courteous and just gave a little too much space towards that wall, which is easy to do. This is a little bit of a deceptively hard pit road to hit. It feels like it's a lot easier than it is. It's not a difficult one by any means, but it kind of baits you a little bit to try to go in faster than you should.
And that's exactly what we saw there. Cole Martin getting some damage from the water barrels. So I'm assuming he will use that fast repair to clean that truck up and have a good nose on the front of that 51. Right now, though, we'll see how long this 66 of Jonathan Byer, second in points on the season, see how long he stays out there with this lead in that 66 machine. His teammates just behind him, Cardullo and Wimble. That's your top 3 right now. So JBR having a great run. We see Kyle Wimble now locking him up, coming to pit road. He is going to get it down to speed and get into the stall cleanly here to get 4 fresh tires on that 3 truck.
And he had one of the early pit stalls because of that 35th qualifying position, as he gave up the 3rd spot to make that pit stop. So that is one of the things there with making that big move through the field. He's got one of those quick stalls there, so he had to get slowed up a little bit quicker than anybody else might have to here in this lead battle.
Now, I assume we're going to see some people try and stretch it out as far as they can, hoping to get a caution out there on the track. I'm having a hard time believing that Jonathan Byer is going to stay out there too much longer because he is going to lose a lot of time to the people. You see Landon Lacey just fly by. I'm going to bring Shearer around as well to get their laps back, and he's running out of time to get that time back after he gets out of pit road. He will be the faster truck, but running out of laps to make that gap up.
Yeah, and he's going to be giving up about 1.5 seconds a lap right now. As this time by, he will be coming down. So we're going to have the leader of the race making that pit stop. Landon Cardulo is going to be coming in behind him. And I believe a caution is out as they come down pit road. Second time tonight we've seen the leader come down for a pit stop and get the perfect timing with the caution coming out right as they got on the pit road.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much that's going to benefit them, though, as these guys that are out there on fresh tires have only been out there, 3 or 4 or 5 laps. And we'll take the green probably with 11 or 10 to go. So those guys will not be pitting. So we will probably see Byer fall back a little bit as well as Cardulo. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out our Beer Street Journal rec replay here. It might have been Mike Mosby here in the 99 going 3 wide. It's Jacob Zala getting into Bobby Anderson, involving the 99 and Mike Mosby as well. 99 not getting too much damage though.
No, and that definitely just looked like they got 3 wide, and watch the inside there. Bobby Anderson kind of holding the middle. I think Jacob Zala started coming in a little bit quicker than I think Bobby anticipated. Maybe Bobby was a little thrown off with Mosby getting that run on the inside, trying to keep that space. But 3 wide can get a little bit dicey here when everybody's trying to get to the middle or the bottom lane, and they all just kind of just sank down to that inside, and Bobby Anderson caught in the middle and turned Zala right into Mosby, and then you see Sean Kozier getting caught up in the aftermath of that one.
So we have quite the race unfolding. We've seen people come down under green out there with 4 or 5 good green flag laps on those tires, and now we got some people that hadn't pit yet coming down pit road. Hearing Landon Lacey, Cole Martin both coming down pit road to get fresh tires, so they must have felt like it was going to be an advantage for those guys that came down during the yellow. Ed Shearer also coming down pit road, so everybody for the most part coming down pit road.
And we saw Dave Fuge get out in front of Lacey and Shearer and everybody that came down. So Fuge might have taken 2 tires here on this one and picking up a few spots.
Not a bad call, not many laps on those right sides, so he's picking up some spots with that 2 tire stop. But the man picking up the spots, we've seen it twice this race now, just timing the pit stop perfectly with the caution coming out, is going to be Jonathan Byer moving up to first. Landon Cardulo also going to move up just behind him in second, so JBR going to have the top 2 spots out there on the track.
Yeah, and I don't want to say this to the discredit of anybody else out there, but I think for Jonathan Byer, it'll be a very popular win if he can hang on to this one. This guy has been due for a while. Had got so close last season in the playoffs to winning at Charlotte. And just it was in the last half mile that he lost that race. But just somebody that there's a lot of people that just, really like the guy, and he's been so close for so long. If he can hang on for these final dozen laps or so, that's going to be a popular win.
Yeah, one of the quieter guys in the league, but one of the most respected. We all had a jaw-dropping moment when we saw him run out of fuel on the last turn of Charlotte. Very reminiscent of Dale Jr. at the same track as well. But he's got the potential and the talent to get it done for his team, and that would be the first win for Jonathan Byer Racing. So it would just be a huge win overall, not only if it was by the captain of Jonathan Byer Racing, but for the team as well.
Yeah, and it's shocking that they haven't won. As often as they're up front, here in the Truck Series especially, it just seems like that win should have come by now, but it just, for one reason or another, the team has yet to park a truck in victory lane, and tonight might be the night, as they're going to have that hold on the front row here as we get restarted with what will be 11 laps to go.
Yeah, and that's really gonna mess with our top 10. Landon Lacey gonna be back to 12th with just 11 laps to go. Ed Shearer just behind him in 13th, and Cole Martin gonna be 14th. So Beyer has some space from him to the quicker trucks out there on track. It's gonna be Beyer, Cardullo, DuPont, Jensick, and Kerr in the top 5 with Lucas Lyons, Nathan Nixon, Blair Holloman, Cody Riggs, and Taylor Smith rounding out our top 10. So a bunch of new names here in the top 10, Brandon.
Yeah, but we're going to have some fast trucks moving through this field, I think, pretty quickly. And you mentioned Lacey 12th, Shearer 13th, Madden 14th, Cole Martin 15th, Kyle Wimble 17th. We got some big movers that are going to be in the mid-pack here as we get this restart late in the race.
Shook everything up. We have the pace car peeling off with 11 laps to go. Beyer going to get his good restart here. Try to help his teammate there on the outside. Landon Cardullo getting a great restart. Going to cycle in just behind him. And I have to imagine these two are going to try and hold these top 2 positions, and hold off the rest of the field. Joseph DuPont in a battle with Sean Jensick there for 3rd. James Kerr, another JBR car, or truck, excuse me, trying to move up and maybe, make a top 3 sweep here for JBR tonight.
And here comes the swarm behind them, though, as we're already seeing Landon Lacey move up to the 9th position. We're seeing 3 wide, 4 wide at times. Lacey got sideways a little bit in 3 and 4, and he's going to fall back about 5 spots. He does have some damage on that number 53 truck, as Ed Shearer is going to move into the top 10. Michael Madden going to be right behind him, and we're starting to see that rush from those that made that late caution pit stop and make their way through the field here pretty quickly with 10 laps to go.
Watching Landon on the blimp cam heading into turn 3. That went 4 wide, and I just knew it wasn't going to work. Great for him, though, keeping it going straight and not catching anybody else involved there. But right now, Jonathan Beyer coming out of turn 4 with nobody in front of him. He has got to get this done for his team and for himself. He, like I said, has the talent to do it, but needs to get it done for JBR. But, man, Ed Shearer is coming. He is already up to 6th. And he has time to get up there, man. If he can just get past a few more cars out there, he is going to make it a battle for this win.
He is hungry to try to get that 4th consecutive win in that 94 truck, that new look here this week, as he's already flirting with possibly moving up into the top 5 here in the next lap as he makes his move on James Kerr. We got one sideways, it's Dave Fuge, and he's hard into the inside wall, spinning around several times. No caution, though, as it's funneled off the racing surface, so we stay green with 8 to go.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks like Atlanta where if you get down there on the apron, it doesn't matter what type of wreck it is. If they're not on the racing surface, we will not see a yellow. So we are still under green flag conditions as Jonathan Beyer rounding turns 3 and 4 to come back to the stripe to take 7 to go. Right now, Ed Shearer trying to pick up 6th place from James Kerr of JBR. He's going to try and hold him off for as long as he can. But I think Ed Shearer just has so much speed right now with those 4 fresh tires on that 94, the 06, and I believe that's the 88 making some contact right there. That's another position for Shearer, so he's up to 5th.
And in that caution that did not come out, that is a welcome sight to Jonathan Beyer out in front, because that 94 truck is on the move, already up to 4th as he makes his way around Blair Holloman. And we do have a little bit of trouble back in the pack, still green though, as we come down to 6 laps to go. Heavy block from the 94.
Big block on the 06 there. Lucky for him not to catch that front bumper. That would have sent him spinning to the infield there, but both trucks still going straight. Great run by Blair Holloman tonight. Not much to hold off on that 94, though, as he is just blazing through this field up to 4th already, but sitting 1.8 seconds back. And, that time really isn't getting any smaller between him and the leader. So as he's picking up these trucks, he is not catching Jonathan Beyer.
No, at this point, if it stays green, it looks great for Jonathan Beyer, as he's got a half second back to Landon Cardullo and then almost a full second back to 3rd place Sean Jensick. So we've got our 2 race winners in the first 4 races sitting 3rd and 4th. But they don't seem to have a whole lot more else that they can do at this point with those 2 JBR trucks really moving out in front.
Yeah, really not much at all that they can do. These guys are having a great run out here to close off this race as Jonathan Byer is going to come back to the stripe this time by to make it 4 to go, just pleading, begging that no caution flag comes out. He's still putting time between him and that 94 as well as the 29 back there, so him and Cardullo having great pace right now. These two looking to bring home the top 2 positions and really make it a great night. I'm assuming that JBR would take over the team standings lead as well. They were just sitting 3 points back of Rev Racing. Now Rev is having a great run as well. A lot of trucks in the top 10, but right now you can't really top a top 2 position for JBR.
No, we were just talking about it. We've yet to see JBR make their way to victory lane in the Truck Series, and why not get it done with a first and second sweep if they can hang on for 3 more laps here at Homestead.
Shame, we got James Kerr in 6th as well, but Kyle Wimble was also having a great race, so really, really strong performance by JBR tonight. They're going to really celebrate this one if it does come to fruition, man. It just seems like the longest laps, I'm sure, for Jonathan Byer right now as he's rounding turns 3 and 4 to come back to take the stripe. 2 laps to go. Sean Jensen going to really try his best to hold off Ed Shearer. That's the best battle on the track right now, but you see it. The 66 is smooth sailing.
And he's somebody that definitely knows how to close, as he's a collegiate bowler as well. So definitely has that mentality that he can get the job done in with bowling, and possibly here tonight with now just a lap and a half to go here at Homestead. Still watching this great battle as well for 3rd, 4th, and 5th between Jensic, Shearer, and Holloman. And it looks like this is going to be a great finish here as we come to the white flag in this race for 3rd, as there's a little blink for Jensic and a caution. Oh,
wow,
no.
He was just taking the stripe too. Man, oh man, that is going to add some drama to the end of this race. Not what Jonathan Byer wanted to see. I'm assuming we're seeing Michael York here. No, it's not Michael York. It might have been Kyle Wimble that brought out this caution. A fellow JBR teammate bringing out the caution.
Oh my goodness. That one stings. That was feet within the line as we watch this Beer Street Journal wreck replay, and it's Kyle Wimble getting the run on the inside of Cole Martin, and they make just the slightest of contact, and wow, a whole lot of trucks get caught up in this in the background, and see some heavy contact there in the follow-up to the 3, so I think that's game over there for Kyle Wimble in that 3 truck, who had a great run going. He kind of got marred in that mid-pack when we had that big scramble, and you see that contact there as he had that big run going into 3.
Turns 3 and 4 here, it looks like, and just got under the 51 and had no room to go. 51's taking his nose off, but I mean, Cole Martin was running his line here, and that is just absolutely not what Jonathan Byer wanted to see. I want to see how close he was to taking the stripe, because man, he had to be right there. I was shocked. I was literally shocked when I saw that come out.
Yeah, honestly, I saw the caution notification come out, and I just kind of didn't react too much because I thought we were already past the white flag. I thought he took that already, but it was within feet of that white flag being taken from that 66 truck, but that the caution came out. And just unbelievable there. And I am as impartial as possible, but man, this cannot happen again to Jonathan Byer.
Yeah, here we're going to see just when these lights come on. Wow.
Oh.
He had already taken the white flag there. That is shocking to see. Man, a little bit of an error on iRacing's part. I'm sure that these drivers are talking about it, but yeah, the iRacing service is the one that throws these flags. It is not our admins, and man, really unfortunate break for the 66. I cannot believe the bad luck that goes into that happening.
You know, there's been times, and every driver does this, there's been times where you talk about bad luck, and you kind of think like, man, I just get the worst luck on the track. I don't think anybody can say that anymore at this point than Jonathan Byer in the 66. We talked about Charlotte. Now we have tonight. And for his sake, hopefully he can hang on here as we get ready for the first of 3 possible green-white checker finishes. Last season, we did have the same overtime happen, but it did end in that first green-white checker.
Yeah, and, you know, not to take anything away from Jonathan Byer, he was pulling away from that 94 machine, so he has the speed out there, ran really good in practice, had a great qualifying lap, qualified in front of Shearer. So Landon Cardullo also showing great speed out there as well. So Shearer is going to have his work cut out for him just getting by those two. And Sean Jensick was holding his own as well. So still, this is not over by any means. But Byer still has an edge here. Going to really get a good restart on the field. Hopefully going to be able to pull away from these guys.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. And one thing we talked about a lot earlier in the race was how much wear you put on the tires when you're making your way through the field and how that affected Shearer in that first run. I want to see if he's got any tires left. If he does, this could be trouble for those 2 JBR trucks out in front because Shearer has had great pace. But if he had to burn up those tires to get back up to that position, it might still be in the hands of the 66 here.
10 going to be Byer, Cardullo, Jensick, Shearer, Holloman, Madden, Kerr, Lyons, DuPont with Riggs rounding out our top 10. And this is going to be our first attempt at a green-white checker, getting a little bit of overtime here at the beach. Battle 125, but 2 JBR trucks going to be starting on the front row. I know we got a 3-time winner that's gone back to back to back sitting there in the 94, but he's going to have his work cut out to get by these 2. They are hungry to get it done for their team and their team captain tonight, Jonathan Byer. He has the field in his hands, going to get a good restart here. Going to try and get out in front of his teammate. Landon Cardullo going to move below him. It's going to look a little dicey back there in the field. We'll see if we make it back around to the white flag this time. Hopefully that will. Oh, and they are back under yellow conditions here. I believe it's Sean Kozier still wrecking out here. Yeah.
Saw a couple of other trucks on the inside getting. It looks like they were collected in that one, but we're back under caution, so we'll be heading to our second overtime, and let's take a look at what happened to end the first one here on the Beer Street Journal Rec Replay, who, as always, will remind you to please drink responsibly. As we see Landon Lacey that got sideways, and he had that contact with the 97. I believe that was Mike Mosby that got caught in the first one there on the inside. See that orange truck, and no, it wasn't him as he got passed. So Walt Lepicki that was on the inside, but yeah, that was once they started going sideways. Everybody was still trying to gain as many positions as they could before the caution came out this late in the race, and not too crazy to see everybody to just kind of pile in there late. It looked like Lacey was trying to make that gap, threading the needle there 3 wide, and did not see that's Don Milkowitz in the 33 just to the inside of him.
Yeah, I don't think he realized that they were 3 wide, so I don't think he was expecting the 33 to be up in the middle lane, and that's what happens here at Homestead. And unfortunately, catching a few other trucks in the mix as well. We saw Andrew Harris, Sean Kozier, I believe it was John Taylor as well, all involved here. Kozier, I believe, has already used his first fast repair, so his night is over with heavy, heavy damage. But right now, no change to the top 5. So, you know, Byer's still got to be somewhat confident out there. That's how he's going to bring this home. He's got to know that he has this race in his hands. It's his race to lose at this point, so he's got to have that mentality out there that he can get this done.
Yeah, and I think obviously the best case scenario is we don't have a second green-white checker start, but now that we're here, this is the best case scenario because he knows that he can get a fantastic jump on this restart and really hold everybody else off and make sure that he's got his teammate behind him if they can recreate that. So that's a confidence builder, really, after being so close to taking the white flag before the caution came out naturally at the end of this race.
Yeah, and I think if they do get another caution and we go to a third green-white checker, And in a scenario where Shearer is in third, I think Bayer will have to move to the outside lane on the restarts just to, avoid having him directly behind him, giving him the capability to move right in front of Landon Cardulo heading into one, right?
Yeah, that's possible. The other thing that you could be a little worried about with that is that Shearer's got the ability to charge forward pretty hard, and if he times that well, can just kind of fill up that mirror. I think he's carrying a little bit more pace than Jensic at this point. So I see the merit on both sides of that. I think at that point you just kind of got to go with what you're more comfortable with. He's been making that inside work really well. I don't know if I would give that up at this point.
We'll see what happens. He's hoping that they don't have another green-white checker. I know he's itching to get this race over with, having the absolute best luck, to get that truck. He was running great all night, not to take anything away from him, but he did get a little lucky with a yellow flag that came out when he went down pit road, timing out perfectly to get that 66 Toyota Tundra out in front, as well as his teammate Landon Cardulo just behind him in second. We saw it happen in the first caution of the night with Cole Martin coming down right as Walt Lipicki brought out a caution, and now we're seeing it again here with Jonathan Bayer, but it might pay huge dividends for this 66 truck if they can get it done tonight.
Yeah, I do want to kind of call out a couple of other guys here that are having a great showing thus far. We mentioned Blair Holloman, who's moved up 20 positions for Zuyost Racing. He's gone from 25th to 5th. Also, not far behind him, running in 10th, Joseph DuPont out of the do-gooders is sitting in the 10th position after starting in 30th. So some big charges there from a couple of our teams that are trying to build some more momentum here through the season.
Yeah, Taylor Smith up in 12th. He moved up from 31st, up 19 positions. A few more to name. Jack Johnson, another JBR truck, sitting there in 15th. He's moved up 19 positions after qualifying 34th. And, so, a lot of big movers in this race. And that whole top 10 got thrown into a whole other direction after our third caution of the night, which we just mentioned, gave Jonathan Bayer this lead. A lot of differing strategies on pit road, helping some people make up some significant track position. But right now, the man with the position that everybody wants, Jonathan Bayer in the 66 machine, rounding our top three here, or turn three, as pace car is going to be peeling off this time. His teammate just to his outside, followed by Sean Jensic, Ed Shearer, and Blair Holloman. That's rounding out our top five. He's going to get a good jump here on the second row. Going to drop down so nobody gets the draft. He's got his teammate working to his outside here. They both need to single up here just to not let Shearer gain any more time if they're battling for this lead. They really need to work together here to bring this home. Shearer making a big run on the outside of Jensic here, bringing Madden just behind.
Oh, wow. Very close moment there for Jensic and Madden, who nearly went for the same piece of real estate coming out of turn 2, and Shearer to the outside with a great push out of turns 3 and 4. See if he can keep that side-by-side, and it's going to be clear for Landon Cardulo to hold on to second, side-by-side for fourth with Madden and Jensic, but it's Bayer still leading.
And white flag is out. Jonathan Bayer out in front, Landon Cardulo in second, Shearer in third, with Jensic just behind him. He's got 2 more turns to go to bring the 66 to victory lane to give him his first ever SRN win. And I know he is just dying to get to this stripe as we head into turns 3 and 4. And he's got his teammate to his bottom here. He is clear out of 4. Jonathan Bayer going to get his first win in the Speed Racing Network Truck Series.
Finally, it's Jonathan Bayer into victory lane. And it was a long wait over the past season and a quarter, a long wait tonight as he had that thing wrapped up, it felt like, coming to the white flag a little bit ago in that natural end of the race before that caution came out inches away with that line. But, man, Jonathan Bayer finally getting to victory lane. Landon Cardulo second, Ed Shearer rounding out the podium position. So 3 of our top drivers this season are also our top 3 here tonight.
This is going to be a fun celebration that we're all going to pay attention to here. We know how it is to get that first win in anything, and this is going to be a good one here. He's just going to burn it down as Matt Johnson, his former teammate, going to be right there with him. Not on the same team this year, but good friends, it seems, as Matt Johnson out there celebrating Jack Johnson out there in the 35. Got the 75 of James Kerr as well. Man, they are burning it down. Great run by the 13 of Landon Cardulo as well, both rounding out our top 2.
Yeah, and for JBR, they're always consistently up near the front with at least one, if not multiple trucks, as they've really done that every single week over the past season and a quarter. So this is a pretty good feel-good moment here in our truck series with JBR finally getting to victory lane, and it's with Jonathan Byer himself.
Yeah, we try to be as impartial as we can up here in the booth, but this is definitely a great sight to see. Something we wanted to see for this guy. He's worked so hard to get it done. Like we mentioned, having the worst luck in Charlotte last season, coming out of 4, running out of fuel. Not tonight, though. He gets the luck that he needs to get that truck out in front, and he did the rest to bring it home in first. Jonathan Byer is our winner tonight. Landon Cardulo going to be second. Ed Shearer going to be third. Michael Madden, a great rebound, moving up to fourth, with his teammate Sean Jensick finishing just behind him in fifth.
And yet another Rev'd Racing driver, Lucas Lyons, going to move up to the 6th position. Blair Holloman out of Zuyost will be in 7th. The third JBR truck is going to be James Kerr, finishing in the 8th position. Cody Riggs in the 224 will be in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Joseph DuPont, the top finisher for the Do-Gooders.
Scott out of Bobby Anderson Racing going to be 11th. Taylor Smith going to be 12th. Josh Mueller going to be 13th, with Michael York being 14th. Nathan Nixon coming home in 15th.
It'll be Michael Aminti in the 16th position. Don Milkowitz in 17th. Matt Johnson going to be in 18th. Jack Johnson, also out of JBR, is going to be in 19th. Jeremy Duncan will round out our top 20.
All right. Well, just look at those standings before we go on to our interviews here. It is going to be quite the number crunching here, as with these points, Jonathan Byer, Rev Racing, they were only separated by 3 points. 2 or 3 Jonathan Byer Racing trucks in the top 8, with 3 Rev Racing trucks finishing 4th, 5th, and 6th. So quite the battle there. But let's go ahead and move on to our post-race interview portion of the race. And third place going to be Edward Shearer. Let's bring him up into the booth. If we can get him up here, we got to find him first in the Discord. Here he is, Ed Shearer. It's Greg Olenik and Brandon Domingue, up here in the booth. How you doing, bud? How was your race tonight?
Awful. Terrible. I mean, I don't even know what the hell to say anymore. It's a joke.
Well, I mean, during the race, it looked like you were doing a great job of making your way around people and doing a great job of just getting those passes complete. I know that, third, it's a 4th consecutive podium finish there, but I mean, how do you feel about the driving that you had to do to get up to the front there a couple times?
Well, it was all great until I got blocked by some people that apparently can't stand me winning anymore. So, I mean, they got to bring bigger guns like Landon Lacey in to beat me. So, I mean, they really must be really scared about me. So, I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. I guess they're just wrecking me or trying to put me in the fence is all they want to do now. So, it's whatever. It's fine. Happy with the podium. I'll take third, but I'm not happy at all how I get raced now. It's a joke. It's just ridiculous.
Well, anybody you want to go ahead and throw a thanks to, a shout out there in the chat?
Just the people that understand where I'm coming from, my teammates. I mean, I know we've been going through rough stuff recently, but it'll all get resolved sooner or later. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll hopefully get it resolved.
Well, go ahead and take this third. Go celebrate with your buds down there in the Discord. Have a good night, buddy.
Yep, sure.
All right, that was Ed Shearer coming home in third. Let's go ahead and move on now to Landon Cardulo, coming home in the runner-up position for Jonathan Byer Racing, a rookie this season in the 13 machine. He is going to be super excited about this one, bringing home a good run tonight. Landon Cardulo, it is Greg Olenik and Brandon Domingue up here in the booth. How you feel about that second place tonight?
Oh man, I'm shaking right now. Truck was good. Beginning first run that we had before the first caution, kind of didn't know really how to save the tires well enough, and I fell back to 9th, I believe. Caution kind of came out at the perfect time. Other than that, Jonathan just kind of coached me through it and helped me save tires for the rest of the race, and here we are, 1-2.
Yeah, and that's something that we were just talking about right as we got to the end of the race, that it's just been such a long time coming for JBR to get to victory lane and to do it with a 1-2 finish here. Just a great moment for the team.
yeah, it means a lot. And I know JV's been wanting this one for a while, so I'm pretty happy to finish second to him. And just a all-out good points day for all of us, the whole JBR crew.
Well, Landon, I know you guys are super excited down there in the JBR team Discord. But before we let you go tonight, who do you got to thank? Any sponsors, any friends, any family out there watching?
Yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to my family watching. I know they're big supporters of me. They watch every single week. And also I want to shout out a couple sponsors, rentalcars.com. They're riding with us this week. Vroom, Shippo, and then, of course, the whole Jonathan Byer racing team. I mean, I can't say anything bad about them. They're great.
You guys raced great tonight, man. We were super hyped to see you guys bring it home. Great run by you tonight, Cardullo. We expect to see you in that victory lane sooner rather than later. But for now, we're going to send you back down to your teammates. Go have some fun celebrating, man, and have a good night.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a good one.
Thanks, bud. Well, there you have it. That was our runner-up, Landon Cardullo out of JBR. But let's get to the man of the hour, the winner tonight here in the South Beach 125. It's going to be Jonathan Byer coming away with his first ever SRN victory. Jonathan, it's Greg Olenik and Brandon Domingue up here in the booth, man. Just tell us what's going through your head right now.
Man, we did it finally. It's just as big for myself as it is for the team. It's been a long time coming. We've really worked hard, and just the right pieces came together here. You know, we played a little bit off strategy from what the front two were doing because we knew we just couldn't drive by them. We didn't want to, risk ourselves in the whole race for it. So me and Landon decided we'll stay out a few extra laps here, see if we can catch them off sequence. And that caution came out, and we were 1-2 since then.
Yeah, and speaking of the caution, now that it's over, it's kind of something that can be chuckled at, I suppose. But man, that caution coming out right as the white flag was coming out, what was going through your mind in that moment?
Well, brain immediately went back to Charlotte, and I was thinking, not again, because I definitely took the white flag there, but I knew I still had Landon there with me. And so we were going to be able to figure something out on those restarts to make sure JBR stayed 1-2. We did a great job executing it. That's what ultimately negated the iRacing mishap, but a little unforced stress there.
Yeah, we went back and checked that out. You definitely did take the stripe, but man, you had the luck on your side tonight, getting that caution on the right time, going down pit road, and then having the truck to bring it home. What does this do for the team, man, the morale? I know you guys have done well week in and week out, but unable to bring home that victory. What does this do for the rest of the team?
I mean, it just gets everybody more motivated to come out here and do the best they can. You know, that's one thing we always talk about every week is consistency. You know, we get here in the practice sessions, and we don't care if we're laying down the fastest lap in the session. That's not what matters to us. What matters to us is being consistent enough to have a good chance of winning, at any point in the race. So, let's say tonight was 85 laps. We want a chance to win at 65. We don't want to take ourselves out of a chance before then. So it just boosts us all a little bit, makes us more motivated, of course, but it's a huge weight off our backs to finally get JBR in the winner's circle.
Definitely. Well, a fan favorite win here tonight. I picked you to win tonight, so I'm super excited to see you bringing it home. But before we let you go and get you back down there with your teammates, who do you got to thank out there tonight?
Well, we have a lot of partners, but Bolify has been with me since day one, and I appreciate their support. And we had rentalcars.com on Landon's car tonight, new partner with us, and we're really excited about that. But on our website, you can go check out all our partners that help us get to the track every week. We appreciate each and every one of them. And so, but I also want to take a special thanks to my family. I know they tune in every week, and they're as stressed out as I am sometimes coming down the stretch in these races. So big shout out to them for support and God for allowing me to have the opportunity to be here to do this.
We see them out there in the chat all the time. They're probably going to be able to watch what we're about to do here. I don't know if you have the stream pulled up or not, but we're going to go ahead and put that winner sticker right next to your name. It's official. Jonathan Byer is a winner here in Speed Racing Network. Long time coming, but well-deserved, my friend. We're going to send you back down to your teammates, man. Go have a good night celebrating with them.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, that was our top three, as well as our winner, Jonathan Byer, here tonight. But Brandon, we got some more action next week in Week 6. It's the Music City 110. We're heading to Nashville Super Speedway on Wednesday, August 18th. Catch it at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Man, this is a tough track.
Yeah, this is going to be yet another new track when it comes to the circuits for SRN. We saw the Roval show up last week for the first time. This week coming up, we're going to be hitting the concrete once again. This time it's going to be at Nashville. We saw a really good race all weekend long at Nashville in the real life for the NASCAR series when they came out there. So I'm expecting to see the same thing, especially with this truck series that has just been outstanding all season long.
Yeah, the racing has been fantastic through these first 5 weeks. Quite the battle in the points and a new winner within the series. So a lot of headlines unfolding here as we head into Nashville next week. But man, we got a race tomorrow to take care of here in Miami. It's going to be the Xfinity Series race, Week 5 action, the Beach Battle 150. You catch it tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And Brandon, am I going to see you out there in some Miami attire? You know, we were rocking the Hawaiian shirts, tank tops, and some sunblock today. Are you going to be wearing it tomorrow?
You know, I might have to do some adjusting there with the driver suit that's going to be showing there, and some of the in cars. Maybe get a little bit of some neon going there.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a fun race. Like you saw tonight, a lot of grooves and a lot of great action, a lot of winners so far in the Xfinity Series. One of the awesome things about that is 4 different winners in our first 4 weeks. Do you think we see a different winner tomorrow, Brandon?
I mean, I would like to be biased and say yeah, because I don't have one yet. But you know, it's going to be tough to tell. Tonight we saw a very interesting story where only 3 of the top 10 drivers actually started in the top 10. We had 3 drivers outside of the top 20 finish inside the top 10 at the end of the race. So, I mean, there's going to be a whole lot of moving through the field tomorrow night. It might be one of those toss-up races on who gets in the victory lane.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to get out there. I know you're excited to get out there, but we are all done here for tonight. So thank you guys for joining us, as always, here at Speed Racing Network. If you like what you saw out there, as always, like and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way for us here, and it'll let you know whenever we go live. But for now, that's going to be it. And as always, we like to leave you with Go Faster.